Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of LMScast. My name is Joshua Millage, and I'm joined today with this beautiful, handsome gentleman, Christopher Badgett. And we are halfway through today with our kind of bird's eye view of the Ultimate Course Creation Framework. This is a series that we're doing, 5-part series. Today is part 3, and it falls in line with a mini course we created called the Ultimate Course Creation Framework, which you can go and enroll in. It's completely free. It's a 5-part video training. You can head over to LifterLMS.com/course clinic and opt in there for this course, or you can text us the word course clinic, just one word, to 33444, and we'll get you enrolled that way. Today, we're diving into step 3, which is the collaborative course process, and this is really, really important and contingent on the fact that you've done the first 2 steps, which were rapid enrollment, getting 100 people on an interest list, and doing some market research, getting some ideas around things that people would potentially pay you to teach them. Today we're going to talk about what we call the collaborative course process, but it's essentially pre-selling a course that you have not developed yet, and you're going to be delivering this course in a very intentional, very one-on-one way to gather really, really, really good feedback so that you can build your evergreen course in the future. So, Chris, tell me why pre-selling is important. We've done it in the past. It works wonders every time. In your mind, what's the big thing that happens when you pre-sell anything, whether it's software or a course or whatever?
I think the number one thing you benefit from is just challenging your assumptions. So you get to see if what you think is going to happen, or you're going to either exceed, meet, or go below your expectations of interest. So that's very important. So if it bombs, you can get out without a lot of damage. If it does okay, then you're right on target. If it exceeds your wildest expectations, maybe you can do more and hire a team and move even faster. And then the other big benefit is just the fact that you're in sync with your audience so that you don't, head off in a direction where they actually want to be learning a little bit over here, but you're not quite hitting the demand. So they'll let you know, so they can be part of that conversation.
Yeah, I completely agree, and the only thing I'm going to add is that fact that you've received money for something that you will teach. There's nothing like having cash in hand as a validation for that. Yes, people are willing to pay me to teach this to them,
Yeah.
and even if you're not, if you're doing this as an internal project and you're not going for payment, having people, like, I'm just envisioning someone who's doing the training inside of a company, even having people take time out of their day to opt in and work with you is a huge validation. So we're really wanting to work with a small group of people to collaborate with. So let me just break down what this process looks like. So we've got our 100 people or so on our student interest list. We've gone through, we've done some market research. We've got some ideas on what people could potentially learn. We've done some surveys, done some informational interviews. Then we go through and we actually do a pre-sell email sequence, which could be 3 or 4 parts, more or less. And we basically drip emails to that email list saying, hey, we're thinking about building this course. It's going to be by application only. I'm only going to work with, and you can pick the number, 5 to 10 people. I think any more than 10, you're going to overwhelm yourself. And it's going to be at this price point. And so the theme that you're using here is really a very powerful formula that I learned from Clay Collins, who now runs Lead Pages. But back in the day, he had a training course called the Interactive Offer. And he created this formula, which is really powerful, which is you're using an early investor narrative, which is this kind of cultural narrative that's very powerful here in the States, which is like, if you get in early, you're going to be better off. We all know that. If we get in early with the stock, then, when the stock blows up, we're going to make more money than if we got in later. Or if we buy something or we back something on Kickstarter early, we're going to get like 50% off what the retail price will be later down the road. Or if we buy real estate, you can just go on and on and on and on and on. It's this narrative. You get in early, you'll have better things happen to you. And you want to use that to your advantage here, saying, if you get in early and help me co-create this course, you're going to have some sort of benefit. And those benefits can be a number of things. One of my favorites is just a special VIP pricing on anything that you create in the future. I think that's a great way, and people really like that because it's maximizing the value that they get now by saying how much money they'll save in the future.
Another one I just want to throw out there is that people will have an opportunity to have your ear as the creator to help shape and guide the product. So it may not just be money motivated; it might just be like access motivated.
Totally. So the next part of the formula actually is collaboration or co-creation, because that's another powerful narrative, and then and scarcity. So early investor, get in early, you have benefits. Co-creation, we're going to work together. And then scarcity, I'm only working with 5 people or 10 people, so make sure you apply.
And that's not fake scarcity. That's real scarcity.
It's real scarcity.
This isn't like some mass broadcast. You're actively engaged and listening and talking. You can only do so much of that.
You can't. And the thing is, once you get more than 10 people, like you're so overwhelmed with stuff and life, and you can't really take in feedback well. So it's very important to walk through these steps. Now, I get into it a little bit at a deeper level in the Ultimate Course Creation Framework, but your emails should be paced usually a day apart from each other, and it's just walk them through kind of think about a soap opera. Some people call it a soap opera sequence, where you're walking through a story, you're leaving some cliffhangers because people want to be involved,
Yeah.
You're not really being manipulative, but you're not being manipulative at all, actually. You're just telling them a story, and you're spacing it out so that people have time to really internalize it. And then you want to have a condensed time period where you offer an application, you accept people, and then you move into the collaborative course process, and you start to teach them. And that a lot of people get hung up on that. They're like, well, what technology do I use? Honestly, when you're doing this at the early stages, all you really need is like Google Hangouts and a Facebook group.
If you're going lightweight, that's it.
That's it.
You better be a good teacher. Don't get obsessed with the technology.
It's all about content at this point. So you're delivering these contents. Whether you're just doing talking head or a slideshow or whatever, and then you're allowing for discussion is really important, because that's where you're going to get the meat of this worked and this didn't work. And then you have a Facebook group for people to process as a group after the fact. And that's really it. I mean, that's, again, the high level. If you want a more step-by-step, you can just head over to the Ultimate Course Creation Framework and opt in there. And lesson 3 is all about this exact process. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy to do when you really think about it. It's getting over the kind of mental hurdles to execute on it that's really difficult.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, Chris, I'm curious. You've seen me do this a couple times inside of Codebox and LifterLMS. And what's been your favorite thing that you've seen happen out of going through a collaborative course process?
I would say one thing is, I'm just thinking about LifterLMS, the product is so much of the feature. It's not a course, but this is just what came to mind. Is so much of the features and the problems that we focus our energy solving come out of collaborating with our early investors, early adopters, the LifterLMS VIPs. So we're just so grateful for that.
Shout out to the VIPs, man.
Yeah, and just talking to them in the early stages and all the interviews you did and everything, we identified a lot of key points and have really built some amazing relationships over the years that are just continuing to grow. And that whole early investor narrative is alive and strong. Like, I know which VIP I'm going to run an idea by about X, or a different VIP about Y. It's just been super powerful.
Sweet. I love that. Well, I'm excited, man, because I think that this is going to help a lot of people. We've got a lot more coming around the corner in 2016 around content and processes and methodologies. We're going to get more detailed in terms of steps that people can take and stuff. So this is just the beginning. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for joining us today, wherever you're at in the world. Again, you can head over to lifterlms.com/course clinic to jump into this free email mini course. Or if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, just text us the word Course Clinic, one word, to 33444, and we'll get you signed up that way. So until next time, we'll talk to you soon.